Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered why others seem to achieve more than you? Why they appear more confident, more successful? Let me tell you something that will change your life forever. They're not better than you. They've just mastered the art of acting as if they're the best. I sit here today to share a profound truth that has transformed countless lives. You see, most people walk through life carrying an invisible burden, the weight of their own self-doubt. They look at others and think they're more talented, more capable, more deserving. But I'm here to tell you that this is the greatest lie you've ever told yourself. Think about this for a moment. Every single person you admire, every individual you consider successful started exactly where you are. The only difference, they dared to act as if they were already the best. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for validation. They simply decided. Let me share something that most people don't understand about confidence. It's not something you're born with. It's not something you inherit. It's something you create through your actions. When you act as if you're the best, your body chemistry actually changes. Your posture shifts. Your voice resonates differently. Your entire presence transforms. I've spent decades observing human behavior, and I've noticed something fascinating. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who carry themselves with an unshakable belief in their own capability. They act as if success is not just possible, but inevitable. You see, your mind doesn't know the difference between acting and reality. When you consistently act as if you're the best, your nervous system begins to accept this as truth. Your cells literally reorganize themselves to match your behavior. This isn't positive thinking, this is biological transformation. Consider this. Every great achievement in human history started with someone acting as if they could do something that had never been done before. They didn't have proof. They didn't have guarantees. They simply acted as if their success was certain. The fascinating thing about this approach is that it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you act as if you're the best, people respond to you differently. Opportunities begin to appear. Doors start to open. Not because the world has changed, but because you have changed how you move through the world. Most people don't realize that their current situation is simply a reflection of how they've been acting. If you act small, life responds with small opportunities. If you act powerless, life responds with situations that reinforce that powerlessness. But when you act as if you're the best, everything changes. I want you to understand something crucial about this principle. This isn't about arrogance. This isn't about putting others down. This is about stepping fully into your own power. When you act as if you're the best, you're not claiming superiority, you're claiming your birthright to excellence. Think about how you walk into a room. Do you shuffle in hoping not to be noticed? Or do you enter with the presence of someone who knows their value? The energy you bring into any situation is felt by everyone present. When you act as if you're the best, you elevate not just yourself, but the entire room. I've watched people transform their entire lives by applying this simple principle. Jobs they thought were out of reach suddenly became accessible. Relationships they thought were impossible suddenly manifested. Not because they became different people, but because they started acting as if they deserved these things. The most powerful thing about this approach is that it bypasses the conscious mind's resistance. You don't have to believe you're the best, you just have to act as if you are. The belief will catch up with your actions. This is how real transformation happens. Consider how much energy you spend doubting yourself, questioning your abilities, wondering if you're good enough. Now, imagine channeling all that energy into acting as if you're already where you want to be. The shift in results is astronomical. You see, most people wait to feel confident before they act confident. But this is backwards. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action, it's a result of action. When you act as if you're the best, confidence naturally follows. It's an inside-out transformation. The fascinating thing about this principle is how it affects your decision-making. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally make choices aligned with excellence. You stop settling for less. You stop accepting mediocrity. You begin to demand more from yourself and your circumstances. Let me share something that will revolutionize how you approach every situation. When you walk into any room, any meeting, any conversation, act as if you're the solution everyone has been waiting for. Not from ego, but from a deep knowing that you have something valuable to contribute. Most people approach opportunities with the energy of a beggar, hoping to be given a chance. But when you act as if you're the best, you approach opportunities with the energy of a gift bearer. You're not there to take, you're there to give. The shift in energy changes everything. I've observed that the human nervous system is constantly scanning the environment, looking for cues about how to respond. When you act as if you're the best, you send powerful signals not just to others, but to your own nervous system. You literally reprogram your body's response to challenges. Think about the last time you felt truly alive. I mean, really deeply alive. Chances are, in that moment, you weren't questioning yourself. You weren't doubting your abilities. You were simply being, doing, expressing, acting as if you belonged exactly where you were. The power of this approach lies in its simplicity. You don't need to change who you are. You don't need to acquire new skills or knowledge. You simply need to shift how you carry yourself, how you express yourself, how you move through the world. Consider what happens when you act as if success is inevitable. Your body language changes. Your tone of voice shifts. Your decisions align with this certainty. People feel this energy and respond accordingly. Opportunities that seem closed suddenly become available. Most people live their lives waiting for permission to be extraordinary. They wait for someone to tell them they're ready, they're worthy, they're capable. But here's the truth, that permission will never come from outside. It can only come from within. When you act as if you're the best, you step into a different dimension of existence. You're no longer operating from fear or scarcity. You're operating from abundance, from power, from certainty. This isn't fake it till you make it. This is become it through your actions. The most fascinating transformation happens in how others respond to you. When you act as if you're the best, people begin to treat you differently. Not because you're demanding it, but because you're embodying it. Your presence alone commands respect. I've noticed that most people live their lives in reaction mode. They're constantly responding to what others think, say, or do. But when you act as if you're the best, you shift from reaction to creation. You're no longer waiting for life to happen to you. You're making life happen. Think about the energy you bring into your workplace, your relationships, your daily interactions. Are you showing up as someone who needs approval or as someone who knows their worth? The difference in results is staggering. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally attract the best. The power of this principle lies in its compound effect. Each time you act as if you're the best, you strengthen this new pattern. Each success, each positive interaction, each achievement builds upon the last. It creates an upward spiral of excellence. Consider how much time people spend trying to fix their weaknesses, trying to overcome their limitations. But when you act as if you're the best, you naturally focus on your strengths. You operate from a position of power rather than compensation. Most people don't realize that excellence is a habit, not a destination. When you act as if you're the best, you're not pretending, you're practicing. You're building new neural pathways, you're creating new patterns of behavior that eventually become automatic. The transformation in your decision making is profound. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally make choices that align with excellence. You stop accepting less than what you deserve. You start creating opportunities rather than waiting for them. I've watched people completely revolutionize their lives by applying this principle. Their income multiplies, their relationships deepen, their impact expands. Not because they became different people, but because they started acting in alignment with their highest potential. The most powerful shift happens in how you handle challenges. When you act as if you're the best, obstacles become opportunities. Problems become platforms for growth. Every setback is just a setup for an even greater comeback. I've observed that the human spirit has infinite potential, but most people live within self-imposed limitations. They create invisible ceilings for themselves. But when you act as if you're the best, these limitations dissolve. You begin to operate at levels you never thought possible. Think about how you approach learning. Most people learn from a position of inadequacy, always feeling behind. But when you act as if you're the best, you learn from a position of expansion. You're not filling a gap, you're adding to your excellence. The fascinating thing about this principle is how it affects your creativity. When you act as if you're the best, your mind naturally begins to generate superior solutions. You stop settling for conventional wisdom, you start creating new possibilities. Consider how this approach transforms your relationships. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally attract people who operate at higher levels. Your standards elevate. Your connections deepen. Your network naturally expands to match your energy. Most people don't realize that their current results are simply a reflection of their habitual ways of being. When you act as if you're the best, you create new habits, new patterns, new ways of being that naturally produce superior results. The transformation in your communication is remarkable. When you act as if you're the best, your words carry more weight. Your presence becomes more magnetic. People lean in when you speak, not because you're trying to be important, but because you're speaking from a place of authentic power. I've noticed that success leaves clues. And one of the most consistent clues is this: successful people act as if success is inevitable. They don't hope for it, they expect it. They don't wish for it, they work from it. The most extraordinary change happens in how you handle failure. When you act as if you're the best, failure doesn't diminish you, it refines you. Each setback becomes a setup for an even greater breakthrough. You don't just bounce back, you bounce forward. I've seen that most people live in fear of judgment, constantly worried about what others might think. But when you act as if you're the best, others' opinions lose their power over you. You're no longer seeking approval, you're extending excellence. Think about the quality of your thoughts when you act as if you're the best. Your internal dialogue shifts from doubt to certainty, from fear to courage, from scarcity to abundance. This isn't positive thinking, this is aligned thinking. The fascinating thing about this approach is how it affects your physical presence. Your posture changes, your breathing deepens, your movements become more deliberate. You literally embody excellence in every cell of your being. Consider how this principle transforms your relationship with time. When you act as if you're the best, you stop rushing. You move with purpose, with presence, with power. Time becomes your ally rather than your enemy. Most people don't realize that excellence is contagious. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally inspire others to raise their standards. Your presence becomes an invitation for others to step into their own greatness. The transformation in your decision-making becomes profound. You stop making choices based on fear or convenience. Instead, you make choices aligned with excellence. You naturally gravitate toward opportunities that match your elevated standards. I've watched how this principle creates a magnetic field around people. Opportunities that seemed out of reach suddenly appear within grasp. Doors that seemed closed suddenly open, not because the world changed, but because your energy changed. The most profound shift happens in your relationship with uncertainty. When you act as if you're the best, uncertainty becomes exciting rather than frightening. You see it as a field of infinite possibilities rather than a source of anxiety. I've noticed that excellence has a rhythm, a pulse, a frequency. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally attune to this frequency. Your actions become more graceful, your decisions more precise, your impact more powerful. Think about how this approach transforms your creative process. When you act as if you're the best, you stop comparing yourself to others. Instead, you focus on expressing your unique excellence. Your creativity flows from authenticity rather than imitation. The fascinating thing about this principle is how it affects your energy levels. When you act as if you're the best, you tap into a deeper source of vitality. You're no longer dragged down by doubt and hesitation. You move with purpose and power. Consider how this shifts your approach to learning. When you act as if you're the best, every experience becomes an opportunity for mastery. You don't just acquire information, you transform it into wisdom through your unique perspective. Most people don't realize that their perceived limitations are self-imposed. When you act as if you're the best, these limitations dissolve. You begin to access capabilities you didn't even know you had. The transformation in your ability to influence others is remarkable. When you act as if you're the best, your words carry a different weight. Your presence alone becomes a catalyst for positive change in others. I've observed that this principle creates a powerful ripple effect. As you elevate your standards, everyone around you naturally begins to rise. Your excellence becomes a mirror showing others their own potential. The most remarkable transformation occurs in how you handle pressure. When you act as if you're the best, pressure becomes a privilege. It's no longer something that crushes you. It's something that crystallizes your excellence. I've witnessed that when you consistently act as if you're the best, your intuition sharpens dramatically. You begin to sense opportunities before they become obvious. You can feel the right path before it's clearly visible. Think about how this principle transforms your relationship with competition. When you act as if you're the best, you stop competing with others and start competing with your previous self. Each day becomes an opportunity to exceed your own standards. The fascinating thing about this approach is how it affects your ability to solve problems. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally access higher levels of thinking. Solutions that seemed impossible become obvious. Challenges that seemed insurmountable become stepping stones. Consider how this changes your relationship with failure. When you act as if you're the best, failure loses its sting. It becomes data, feedback, information to fuel your growth. You don't fail less, you fail better. Most people don't realize that their current reality is simply a reflection of their habitual thoughts and actions. When you act as if you're the best, you create new patterns that naturally produce extraordinary results. The transformation in your ability to focus is profound. When you act as if you're the best, distractions lose their power. You naturally align your attention with what truly matters. Your energy becomes concentrated, focused, powerful. I've observed that this principle creates a natural authority, not the kind that needs to be enforced, but the kind that flows from authentic excellence. People naturally respect and respond to this energy. The most powerful shift happens in how you approach challenges. When you act as if you're the best, every obstacle becomes an opportunity to demonstrate excellence. You stop seeing barriers and start seeing breakthroughs waiting to happen. I've noticed that this principle completely transforms your relationship with fear. When you act as if you're the best, fear becomes fuel. It's no longer something that holds you back, it's something that propels you forward. Think about how this changes your daily habits. When you act as if you're the best, mediocrity becomes uncomfortable. You naturally gravitate toward actions that align with excellence. Your standards become your safeguard against settling. The fascinating thing about this approach is how it affects your decision-making speed. When you act as if you're the best, you trust your instincts more. You move from hesitation to decisive action. Time becomes an asset rather than a source of pressure. Consider how this principle transforms your physical presence. When you act as if you're the best, your body naturally aligns with this truth. Your posture improves, your movements become more deliberate, your energy becomes more focused. Most people don't realize that excellence is a practice, not a destination. When you act as if you're the best, every moment becomes an opportunity to embody your highest potential. Every interaction becomes a chance to transgress excellence. The transformation in your ability to influence events is remarkable. When you act as if you're the best, you stop being a passive observer of circumstances and become an active creator of opportunities. Your presence alone begins to shape situations. I've watched how this principle affects the quality of your thoughts. When you act as if you're the best, your internal dialogue shifts from criticism to cultivation. You stop beating yourself up and start building yourself up. The most extraordinary transformation occurs in how you view your own potential. When you act as if you're the best, you stop seeing your current capabilities as your limit. Instead, you recognize them as your foundation. I've observed that this principle creates an unstoppable momentum. Each action builds upon the last, creating a spiral of ever-increasing excellence. Your success becomes not just probable, but inevitable. Think about the legacy you're creating with every moment. When you act as if you're the best, you're not just changing your own life, you're setting a new standard for what's possible. You become a living example of excellence in action. The fascinating thing about this journey is that it never truly ends. When you act as if you're the best, you discover that excellence is infinite. There's always another level, always another breakthrough, always another summit to reach. Consider this final truth: you are not here by accident. Your presence in this moment, hearing these words, is not random. You're here because something within you is ready to step into a new dimension of being. The time for hesitation is over. The time for waiting is past. The time for playing small has ended. From this moment forward, you have a choice: continue as you were or step into the full power of who you can become. Remember, acting as if you're the best isn't about superiority, it's about service. When you operate at your highest level, you give others permission to do the same. Your excellence becomes a light that illuminates the path for others. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your opportunity to transform not just your life, but the lives of everyone you touch. The world is waiting for the gift that only you can give, the gift of your highest expression. So step into your power. Embrace your excellence. Act as if you're the best, not because you need to prove anything to anyone, but because that's who you truly are. When you remove all the limitations you've placed upon yourself. The question is no longer why me, the question is why not me? The time is now, the person is you, the power is within. Act as if you're the best, because in truth, that's exactly what you are.